Coming up in news tonight, PLP leader hopeful Alfred Sears says he's got a plan to stamp out corruption. Outrage from the FNM and the DNA over government's decision to exempt Baha Mar's foreign contractor from paying value-added tax. Plus, we've got highlights from the inaugural Island House Film Festival, and we'll count down the top 3 quotes of the week. Welcome to Our News. I'm Dana Smith. Thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight. In just over 1 week, members of the Progressive Liberal Party will head into convention. Hoping to emerge victorious during the party's leadership battle will be the party's Fort Charlotte candidate, Alfred Sears. In a recent interview with Our News, Sears said if successful, he has plans on tackling a number of issues in the country, one of them being corruption in government entities. Kyle Joaquin tells us more.
We have to deal with the issue of corruption.
He's looking to do what some may consider to be near impossible: defeat Perry Gladstone Christie on the convention floor of the PLP. But Alfred Sears says there needs to be a change in the country. He says he believes there have been too many issues like corruption that successive governments have danced around.
We see documented cases where the resources of the state have been used in a manner which really was not for the public benefit. And it's about time that we put in place robust institutions to ensure the probity of the public affairs.
He referenced the Commission of Inquiry of 1967 that dealt with casino licenses, then that of 1984 that dealt with the transshipment of drugs, as well as the Commission of Inquiry of 1997 that dealt with Baha Mar, and then Batelco. In late 2015, Attorney General Alison Maynard Gibson had stressed that the Bahamas is making every attempt to eliminate corruption. But Sears said it's about time all of the government's resources are used for the public's good. But stomping out corruption is just one of the things Sears says he wishes to work on.
I believe that this is the historic moment for the Bahamas to shift the paradigm from the Stafford Sands model of development, which relies almost entirely upon foreign direct investment. And we need to reorganize our incentives, concessions, so that we can build national capital.
Sears said he'd like to see the Bahamas' economy grow beyond tourism and financial services, as well as even development with the Family Islands.
That is why I have proposed that we revise local government so that it has revenue-raising authority, it's extended to New Providence, and that the local authorities in our Family Islands could be engaged in economic promotion.
Sears has not said who his running mate would be as yet for next week's convention, but he is confident there's a quiet storm working in his favor to emerge leader of the PLP. Reporting for Our News, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Following backlash over the revelation that the Christie administration exempted Baha Mar's lead construction firm, China Construction America Bahamas Limited, from paying value-added tax on the unfinished project, Education Minister Jerome Fitzgerald explained the concession served as a trade-off for the $100 million paid to subcontractors and former Baha Mar employees. Well, former Free National Movement Senator Dr. Dwayne Sands says nothing was ever mentioned about such an exchange. Giorgio Bain reports.
In an email leaked to the press last week, it was revealed that the Progressive Liberal Party had exempted China Construction America Bahamas Limited, the lead construction firm on the Baha Mar project, from paying value-added tax. Since then, heavy criticism flowed from the opposition party and the Bahamian public. The Progressive Liberal Party has been busy defending the decision. Minister of Labor Shane Gibson condemned want-to-be politicians for their take on the exemption, and according to Attorney General Alison Maynard Gibson, the benefits that will flow from the completed project will far outweigh the concessions. Sands says the fact that when Prime Minister Perry Christie made the announcement about the remobilization of the Baha Mar resort, he neglected to mention the exemption.
If you remember, there was a big press conference when the Prime Minister and all of the cabinet stood up in front of the nation, and they spoke about how the creditors and the contractors and the employees of Baha Mar were going to be paid. He ain't breath, not one word about this being an exchange of the VAT money. Now I would ask your listening audience to go back and read or look at the tapes of those press conferences Not a word.
Sands says he's doing his own investigations to find out if the proceedings of the VAT exemption are actually legal.
When you have the sale or transfer of real property in the Bahamas to a new owner, the expectation is that the people of the Bahamas, the Treasury of the Bahamas, is going to benefit. And unless they change the law, then it is possible, and I am advised, that this government may be doing something illegal.
Sands says although he knows every Bahamian is hopeful for what the opening of the resort will bring to the Bahamian economy, he is concerned that the current administration is sacrificing too much to get the doors open.
I think every single Bahamian is interested in Baha Mar opening, being a success, and contributing mightily to the Bahamian economy. But not if we have to give away our birthright. And if at the end of the day, this government is going to wind up with a fiscal deficit. Don't mind what the Prime Minister said. The measured actual fiscal deficit is going to be on the order of $300+ million. They're going to blame Matthew, and they're going to blame all the hurricanes. But if you look at the predicted GFS deficit, year after year after year, in the speech, in the budget address, the Prime Minister has been wrong every single time.
Sands is joining fellow F&M candidate Dionisio D'Aguilar in calling for the sealed Baha Mar documents to be made public.
I would like to see the sealed documents. Bahamians would like to see the sealed documents. What else did they sell of our birthright? What else did they give away? $60 million or $100 million may not be much to the government or to China State Construction, but to the people of the Bahamas who catch in their backside every day, it's a lot of money.
Reporting for our news, I'm Georgie O'Bain.
DNA leader Brownville McCartney is also criticizing government's decision to exempt Baha Mar's contractor from paying VAT. The former Ingram administration cabinet minister said the country could be missing out on millions of dollars.
Especially in the state of our current financial situation, in light of our recent downgrade, to give an exemption on VAT, that's millions of dollars that we have not gained.
Attorney General Allison Maynard Gibson suggested the VAT exemption is in the best interest of the country. Labor and National Insurance Minister Shane Gibson also defended the move, stating governments giving concessions is nothing new. It happens with every single major developer who comes in the country. But McCartney said local businesses aren't getting any VAT exemptions, so why are foreigners?
Most Bahamians have to pay VAT the same month, the 21st if I'm not mistaken. Are we going to get an exemption? But yet the Chinese, the communist country, can come and get a complete exemption. That is not right.
Noting the Baha Mar deal remains sealed, McCartney questioned what else the government has, in his words, given away.
Obviously, they will do anything to try and get Baha Mar open, whether or not it is to the benefit of the Bahamian people. But we mustn't forget that it is the PLP government that caused Baha Mar to close in the first place.
McCartney pointed to government's decision to file that winding up petition, asserting it was that move which ultimately left the development in a stalled state for months. McCartney said the Christie administration has been a dismal failure.
You know, election is coming up, and this government, they're looking for things to say that they've done good for the country. The Bahamian people have already made up their mind that this government, this PLP government, is perhaps the worst in modern history that we've had, and they need to go.
Well, 2 weeks into the year, and police in the capital are investigating yet another murder. According to reports, a man was walking on Ferguson Street around 2 a.m. today when he was shot. Officials pronounced him dead at the scene. No further details were made available, but police say investigations are continuing, and anyone with information about this or any other crime, no matter how small or insignificant the tip may seem, is asked to contact police anonymously at 919 or 328-TIPS. Well, when our news returns, we've got the highlights from last week's inaugural Island House Film Festival. Stay tuned.